What's good, family? It's your guy every day, dropping edits every day, showcasing my work from music videos, documentaries, the funniest mashups, and looking at one of my latest projects, Revamp. Got footage waiting to be transformed? Let me bring that to life. Send me your clips today and watch your vision turn into magic. Let's make it happen. What's good, people? It's your guy every day. Shout out to the crew and the gang, man. Let's tap into this one, man. First, I want to say thank you to Supreme Understanding, man. While we was out there in Atlanta, this brother invited us to his home, allowed me to take out my camera and just capture the conversations we was having. And it was such a dope meet. We met another guy out there called Daddy Grace. You're gonna see, man. You're gonna see in the footage that we was just there chopping up some knowledge, giving some wisdom, and it is what it is, man. Hopefully you guys like this one, man. Let's tap in.
Peace. If you don't know who I am, it's okay. What I do is I write books to change the hood, and my name is Supreme Understanding because my book's about giving people perspective. The best perspective you can get on things and on life, and that requires us digging a little bit deeply. So my books dig a little bit deeper than any book that you've probably seen before. It's one of them. It's called The Hood Health Handbook. What we did with this book, we got brothers going healthy again. You know what I mean? Because we've been killing ourselves for such a long time that it was time for a change. So when you see a lot of Atlanta rappers start making changes in their life, just know there was brothers like me that played a major role in putting books like these in their hands directly. You know, when you see brothers like my brother Waka Flocka going vegan, you see brothers like T.I. and all them getting real political. I made it my business to make sure that I influence the influencers. I made it my business to make sure that we got these works into the hands and the minds that was going to be influencing the masses. So when you see us moving towards more political and conscious content in the music out here in Atlanta, just know that this is my work. This is what I do. This is what I'm about. You know, people said they lost all faith in Young Thug. Why? He a young man just like you was once. If they'd have given you a mic when you was 19, 20, you'd have said some bullshit too. So they gave that man a mic and $1 million check. What you gotta give them though is the righteousness to know that there's another way to see life. That's why I made sure I gave my brother a book when I seen him. You know what I mean? Anybody I know that's doing it, I'm putting a book in their hand, I'm putting a jewel in their ear. And that's what you should be doing. And if you need them jewels, that's what we do. Supreme Design Online or SupremeUnderstanding.com. That's where you find the curriculum for changing the world. What I teach is how to create a new reality. And that new reality begins with you. Begins with you changing the way that you think and live. And then by your influence, changing everything around you. Your family, your circle, your community, and eventually, when you're powerful enough, because you've been using these principles the way that you had that power, you're influencing the world. So let's give it this mission. Peace. I had to give everybody 120. He's like, man, I'm just teaching righteousness right now. And I'm like, nah, we're gonna have to get in it. You gonna have to give it mathematics. I don't care. We're gonna have to spread mathematics out here. You're like, why me? And I'm like, cause you're the best.
You the one.
Right.
You sound like me. That's how they used to hit me with all this responsibility. You and Cali, you know, you're the first one, and they hit you with all this responsibility, and nobody wants to initially take that weight. Yeah. You know, like, but you know, people choose themselves. Yeah. Especially with me, it was like I never. And we went through stages. Like I said, when I first started going to a law school in Mecca, I wasn't the sharpest blade in the drawer. I got knowledge in Pt1 in October of 1987. By the time I moved back to Los Angeles, I had only had mathematics and stuff for maybe a couple of months, you know. So when I went there, you know, I the brothers around me had lessons, and we was piecing it together and trying to put it together the best way we knew how, because we didn't have no elders and we didn't know no better. When I got of age and I got a record deal and I started traveling back to New York, I started going to a law school in Mecca, and that's when I began to get the regiment, you know, because everybody have their regiment. It's almost like, you know, if you go up and deal with a Muslim or Orthodox Muslim, you know, if you're not praying 5 times a day and doing what Muslims do, you can't claim to be a Muslim. If you're a Christian, you deal with a charity. You know, you take your communion, you do what Christians do. You know, 5%ers, we have a regiment and we have a rite of passage that, you know, that's responsible to us, and we have to make sure that we cherish that and that we pass that tradition on. You know,
and people knowing like what it is, like,
right. Mathematics, alphabet, and 120 lessons, man. That's our program, you know, and that's to me, that's the basics. And then the 120 isn't the end all or be all. 120 is just the first place that you learn to use mathematics and alphabet. And I tell people this all the time because the lessons are Muslim lessons. They come out of the temple. The father brought them out the temple. Only reason that we study these degrees is because this is what he was studying when he came to the realization of himself. So if he's teaching other people, why not give them the same materials and the things that you were studying when you came to the realization? But the cornerstone of our teachings is supreme mathematics and supreme alphabet. That's the cornerstone of our teachings. 120 is just the first place you learn to use it at. In the same way, effort that you learned a 120 in, once you learn 120, that's just the blueprint. Yeah, now you apply that same effort in other things.
See, you know, people mess that up where they think like, they think that once I get 120, I'm not going to use it again. What the fuck would you learn it for if you wasn't going to keep on using it? You know what I mean? So it gives you the perspective that was meant for the people that got in that time period to come to the awakening of themselves, right? But it also gave you the historical context by which all these things came to be, so that once you woke up to who you are right now, in the present day time, you see how it came to be. You'd be like, okay, this is how the devil was made, this is what he did to us, and this is what we must do now, but we have a different approach to it, rather than approaching it as a religious text, which we gotta just internalize and then not do nothing else with. We take those principles and those lessons, and we, through mathematics and alphabet, like basically draw out all the present day uses of it. Like, okay, a trader meant into orientation 379 years ago from the date of that writing, that this people would receive more gold, and he was telling lies, right? And he got everybody scamming and hustling, and you know what I mean? That's still going on right now. We got 2 presidential candidates that's doing the same thing. They willing to, you know what I mean, tell you a story and tell you whatever you want to hear, and some of us is going to go along with it. And we even got people that are considered leaders in our community that'll sell us out. Because when there's a trader, there's also a traitor. Like, there's 2 people. My brother Ayatami used to be on it all the time. There's always 2 people involved in any finagling type relationship. You know, it's one person that's striving to bring the wrong into your community. Then you got one person that's a representative of your community that's with the bullshit.
Right, that's allowing it. That's allowing it. And that's the jewel about 120, because what 120 is that you're learning to interpret your life through the text. That's the jewel of 120. You're interpreting your life through the text. The reason why we learn to keep it on the dome and to memorize it is that understanding is going to come in time. You know what I'm saying? We have it on the dome so that as you live your life and you're going through various life experiences, when certain things happen, it pops up in your head. Oh, it's this. You have something to apply it to, some way to interpret it. You have a text that's here that you know by memory, that you're able to interpret the various situations that take place in your life. And that's the use of it.
See, when you were saying about making certain things so people in different parts of the world can relate more, that's what Cypher was trying to do at one point, where he was like, certain things, maths is just maths, that's, you know what I'm saying, universal. But there's some things that's very North American, that if there was certain things, I don't know, put together, so like you said, the person from France with a Nigerian background, the person from the Caribbean could relate and gravitate more.
See, this knowledge is perfect for people that didn't even know they had a history to know. You know what I mean? So everybody that got stripped of their knowledge of themselves through the process we know is the 1 to 36, where in that lesson it describes the transatlantic slave trade, and it talks about how, you know, the people, not only was they brought over, but then they were stripped of everything that they once knew, and then the people back home didn't even know really what had happened to them, right? And then the end of this lesson tells you now the people back home are finding out about all their lost cousins. So what I get out of that is you got lost cousins everywhere. I'm a lost cousin, you a lost cousin, he a lost cousin, everybody, you know what I mean, is a lost descendant of this whole process, but at the root of it was a devil just doing his thing.
Right.
And so now what our common understanding is, we all been through some form of PTSD thanks to that motherfucker. Now we could all sit and talk about this motherfucker all day long, but that sounds like a victim. So in order to be a victorious rather than a victim, which is what we teach in the culture, it requires you to go deep into your history and find the godliness in this. Find the how are we original? Like, yo, if you Nigerian, you already know damn near. Like, you got it passed down by your grandpappy, like he told you. You know what I mean? If you Kenyan, you know. If you Ethiopian, you know. But if you grew up in America, shit, I'm from Bangladesh. Motherfuckers ain't tell me.
And I think the beauty of it and how it accorded is because when you brought the book to me and was telling me about Jamaicans coming over in the area where you were at, I think that applies to it, because when you start getting into who is the original man and you get into the 1 in 36 and it says, my name is W.F. Muhammad, I came to the wilderness of North America, these stories will transcend regardless of where you're at as far as original people is concerned. Because when you brought that book to me and told me that history, you know, that's that experience. You're talking about who's the original man there, and then you're talking about Malik, who came over here and his family came over here in this year, and these are the experiences. Right. That's the consciousness that exists over in that community. So it applies across the board when you have understanding, because it still speaks to you. Initially, it was something that came to us here in the wilderness of North America, but it's something that applies to all original people or indigenous people throughout the world. Because one of the key things when you deal with our Supreme, not even Supreme, when you deal with the 1 to 10, when he starts speaking about Asiatic within the original man, and within the knowledge degree of 1 to 10, when they ask you who is the original man, Asiatic deals with the concept of us from the planet.
Right.
That's what Asiatic is about, because I might not call myself African or any other continent, because if I say that I'm this, then I deny original people that's in Cuba, I deny original people that's in UK, I deny the original people. But when you say you're Asiatic, that's saying that we're talking about we come from the planet as a whole. Because every place that the Caucasian man went when he got there was always somebody darker than him there when he landed. When he landed. You know what I'm saying? So, and these are the ways that we learn to interpret our lessons, and so that it apply to everybody across the world. That's why you can get it.
So you build on the beginning of when you get into, as a student, as you enroll, and then you learn your connectedness with the global black family through that first lesson, right? So you get, in this coach, you get the math and alphabet, so you have keys and tools to understand. So you'll never be a dummy again. Because the first thing you get, once you prove yourself worthy, see, if you don't get math, and homie, did you fast before you got?
Yeah, come on, man. Everybody's supposed to fast before they get this, man.
See, we had to go without food for 3 days before we got this, right?
That's part of cleaning yourself up.
Right.
That's what all that's about.
And I didn't get it like that because I got on the streets with a coat with little bits and pieces had been left out. I got some things lost in translation. So when I found out about the tradition, I still went ahead and did it. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to go through it all the way. Right back in the days, I heard the guys shaving their heads and shit.
Yeah. When you talk about the Blood Brothers and all that and stuff, that early history, you know, it was different things that was taking place that came to us forming this. You know, one of the things,
you know, we the only motherfuckers that survived the 60s?
Yeah.
Real shit.
Yeah.
We don't. See, we, like, this culture is a civil rights, human rights culture. All the old guys who now, like, you know what I mean, peace to them, they return to the essence right now, like, as we speak. They civil rights icons. They human rights icons, because from the 60s till now, they've been pushing liberation to the people non-stop, no paycheck, no recognition, no accolades. Sometimes motherfucker don't even like them.
Right. Poor righteous teacher, I'm doing it for nothing. I'm doing it for nothing.
And that's why I respect those that do it. So when people be like, oh, that's a bum, that's not a bum, that's a man that gave up everything for this. And so in the beginning, you gotta show yourself worthy. So first people gonna examine you, and then you gonna go through whatever you go through. Some people gotta learn the history of this nation. I think part of the reason why you gotta learn the history is because you gotta know motherfuckers died for this shit.
Right.
You gotta know our father gave his life for this. He only got how many years in attention? For like 3-4 years.
Right.
3-4 years, and by the 3rd, 4th year, he was like, yo, I'm gonna be gone.
Right.
They got FBI files. Yeah, they got FBI files where he in 1968 speaking to Duma Wade, who also transitioned to the Essence, and he telling him, yo, I'm not gonna be here in a year. And he like, what the fuck?
Right.
G. Khalid, what the fuck? What you talking about? Let me get the gun and get whoever it's gonna be. He like, nah, it's not a problem you can solve that way. That man had some real vision. We call it clairvoyance, but he had a real keen insight. Because see, Allah, this is what I learned about Allah. Allah wasn't no joke. Allah was a man before he even got knowledge. He had already been to Korea as a war veteran. You know what I mean? He had already saved lives, lived lives, damn near lost his life. And then, you know, he had moved out of Danville, Virginia. He brought that Southern wisdom up to Harlem. And then he lived the Harlem lifestyle. So he lived, see, that's the beauty. That's why y'all being here is a beautiful thing. Y'all came from the UK. Y'all right out here in Southwest Atlanta. You know what I mean? Like, this is what make a man complete. It's pain, tragedy, and all that make a man complete. Without that, you're not a complete man, and you can't teach nobody. You gotta have walked every part of the path that you're gonna give, that you're gonna teach to. Once you get to that mathematics, once you get that alphabet, And then you get that student enrollment and you learn about the people. You work your way, you go to the 1 to 36 and you learn about the history, slave trade and what brought us here and what left us fucked up. The what made us like this, because otherwise what I see with so many original men and women is they don't know why we fucked up. And it creates a low self-esteem situation where it's like, well, we must be inferior.
Right.
The white man must be supposed to be helping us because look how civilized he is. He don't kill himself. They don't kill each other. Yes, they do. They eat each other.
Blaming each other.
They fucking eat each other. They kill their babies and eat their mamas.
Right.
And rape their daddies. Like, we just got the wrong idea because we watch motherfucking Fox and, you know.
Like what I was saying on the way here, I was like, when we go to the UK, I'm like, yeah, I'm saying, yeah, I'm gonna buy flat shows. If I take pictures or I'm filming, they'll be like, yo, that kind of looks kind of hood out there. Like, be careful, be careful. And I'm like, yo, one, I'm not scared of my own people. And two, the image you've been sold of Black America is way, way off to what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, around where I'm at, cats would more want to finesse me of my money than straight rob me. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't more want to sell me some bullshit weed or something like that.
Right.
You'll more make of a hustle out of it than
Lullaby you to sleep with the one.
And yo, I tell you this now, especially in the South. Well, I know it's Atlanta. When we're in the UK, if we walk in and you bang into a few brothers. So if you bang into 10 different black people, one of them could turn to something. You know what I'm saying? Here, there's more kind of, there's more civilized. People treat each other better here.
Really?
That is 100%.
Incredible.
100%. You don't realize you have it.
So you think there's more animosity between people that look like out that way?
Because we got a smaller community. If one person's got a job in the council, you know what I'm saying? Let's say there's 8 black people in there. There's like 4% black workers.
Right, just
those black workers, they have to keep their job, you know. And it's like 1 in, 1 out.
Oh, so that's where the competitive shit.
So it's gonna be like there's only ever gonna be 4 or 5% black people ever gonna be working there,
and they're gonna be pitted against each other to compete for that space.
You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
It's like that with everything in the UK to a certain degree.
So we got to the 1 to 36, right? So the 1 to 36 explained all that. It explained how we was made into tribes to fight each other and to sell each other. Oh, they just grab a glass here, man.
Yeah, because we get over here building and stuff, I'll keep pouring. And it's all sweet, I don't taste no liquor. I'm like, hey, let's keep tossing it back, it's juice.
But you know what, this is our culture, see, because the thing is, this is why we escape religion. You know what I mean? Because we able to be civilized and righteous while we still doing this, because this is the way that, honestly, homie, the reason why we can hold our liquor is because we be around 85s, and we gotta be able to be amongst them and build with them and be able to do what they do, and we not affected by none of that. That's why you ain't hearing our words slurred and none of that. You know what I mean? Because we done been through this. This is a training that a 5% will really go through. A real 5% is like, you know what I mean? That's my my brother came out from LA. I done never built with this brother market in my life. You know what I mean?
But we just know each other. Yeah, just the telephone and pure reputation alone. You know, this brother comes highly recommended. You know, and over the years we've been able to create a camaraderie with each other because we know so many of the same people. But that's the key thing that people need to understand about these teachings. We're a nation first. A nation is a brotherhood. A nation is a certain camaraderie. A nation is a people with a history, a language, and a land in common.
And the 1 to 14 is a knowledge of Allah's nation. And it break down not only how the devil's society is structured, but it also break down how our societies could be structured. When we talk about what is the meaning of FOI, what is the meaning of MGT and GCC, we talking about things that we can manifest within our own personal lives, our families, and our communities, and just in showing how men and women can conduct themselves, right? We take it to the 1 to 40. The 1 to 40 give you the knowledge to free decipher. It show you how the devil was made, but who we was before we made him, why we made him, how we made him, why things is the way they is, and to give people so much understanding, because people are so confused trying to figure out why these people are so inhumane. And the reality is we gave them the condition to be such.
Right.
We didn't give them no other choice to be that, because in this world you can't be, real shit, you know what I mean? If you're a white motherfucker watching this, the reason why all your white friends and family don't fuck with you is because the white world is designed to be in opposition to the black world.
Right.
It's designed that way. So if you with that one white boy, one white girl that ain't with the shit, and you wonder, damn, why my own mama don't fuck with me? Because they still with the game plan. They still playing for Team White. You not. You might be trying to come over to our side and shit. You know what I mean? And we still ain't sure where you really stand, because we very rarely seen a motherfucker keep and obey them laws. You know what I mean? Of doing it right long term. So that's why we just said we not even worried about y'all motherfuckers. As long as we build our own world, we can end the devil's civilization in one day without falling victim. How? By seeing ourselves for what we are. We were so lost in the knowledge of ourselves, only getting back to that knowledge and getting back to how it all came to be would really unlock us.
What
That's for everybody.
What do you think of the level of consciousness? Because for me, in the UK and here, I've seen a lot change from. I remember the 90s. The level of consciousness was high. I've seen it strip right back, and I see it coming back up again. Do you see this yourself?
What you see on the West Coast?
On the West Coast, the consciousness is coming back. I mean, as far as these young brothers right now, our young is very, and I think it's really a reflection of us as far as how we taught. There's a certain gap that took place, man, where these young people didn't get it that certain kind of way. You know, it's just hard, people. I mean, these young boys is really lost in the sauce, man. It's really, brothers is really lost in the sauce. But in the same breath, it's really reflecting of what we've been done over the years. You know, it's just, I can't even describe where the gap actually took place, where brothers didn't pick up the steam that took place in the 90s. Because when I got
speaking of people that couldn't keep up our culture, though, real shit.
Yeah.
We not talking about the masses. The people that couldn't keep up our culture, I'm gonna be real. They might not have been meant to. This some shit you gotta self-sustain. Ain't nobody gonna keep you God. Ain't nobody gonna keep you Earth. And if you got into this to be part of a club or a group, you got into it for the wrong reason, and they ain't gonna hold you. You're gonna move on to some other said nation, and you're gonna go on and do something. Or you might just go on to be a good person. There's a lot of people that's good people right now. That's why you seeing a lot of waves of change happening, because you got a lot of older and established people, you know what I mean? You got managers and people that's in high positions. See, remember the old lesson? What do the 5% dress like? Some of them dress real poor clothes, some dress real nice clothes, some in high positions, low positions. That's real.
It is very real, man.
The ones in low position, we get to be vocal. High positions, not so much.
But I think that's what makes us so effective is that as far as our teachings is concerned, like we was building earlier about us having a culture and not a religion. So us having a culture, that means that it's a lot of us and a lot of lifestyles. No matter what you're doing, right, wrong, or indifferent, there's a lot of 5%ers in that lifestyle. And I think that's what makes us effective, because no matter what you're doing, right, wrong, or indifferent, there's one of us there that could teach you the knowledge.
Right, that's what we do. Everybody right about now can say a 5% told them some shit that helped them.
No matter what you do, right, wrong, or indifferent, that's the jewel. That's the jewel.
Shout out to the brother Supreme Understanding, man. We split this into 2 parts, man. Check out his website. Part 2 is dropping so soon. It's your guy every day, and I'm out. Thanks for watching. If you loved what you saw, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more creative edits. Want to support? Consider donating to help me create even more epic content. And don't forget to grab your exclusive merch at the website, link in my bio. Every purchase supports the channel. It's your guy every day. I'm out.